1,000 big ones. Wow. This car has been through a lot. Hello, I'm Jensen. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. So I just hit 80,000 miles in the Drivetrain. I bought it in 2017 with 9,600 miles. So I've owned it for 7 years and I've put damn near 70,000 miles on it. So I figured I'd give you guys a review, my honest opinions, and what are some things that you'll need to upgrade if you want to do some things that I did to it, and what has held up and what hasn't. Anyway, let's get right to it. So pretty much nothing on this car is stock or came from factory anymore, besides like the doors and this front half of the body, because the whole back end is new. A bunch of fenders and everything has been replaced. The paint has held up well, I'm not gonna lie. Like the top is still the factory gloss black. It's a little dirty right now, but there's some scratches and things, but it's not like it's super fading and doing a bunch of stuff. And this car was parked in the garage, but the paint has been pretty good so far. Pretty much everything on this car is not stock anymore and has been replaced and upgraded with something. There's some instances where I wish that I would have kept the stock parts instead of upgrading. The suspension, I used to have the active ride suspension, so it's magnetic ride, so you can put it from street to race to track, and it'll get stiffer obviously as you go up. Right now I only have stiff setting. This is BC Racing coilovers. They do have a 18 setting dampener on the top where you can go from soft to stiff, but that's obviously not as easy as just hitting the button on the dash. Honestly wish that I would have kept the active ride suspension. The only reason that I changed it is because I put the H&R lowering springs on it, and that blew out the shocks, so I had to replace it with something. Ended up going with BC Racing coilovers. I love it for the race car aspect, but daily driving and stuff like that, I would like it a little softer, which is where the active ride suspension comes in. But other than that, the suspension before I replaced it was nice. Now it's nice for the track. This car has been 4 different colors, so I've been able to go like over all of the body gaps and body lines and stuff like that. The Dodge body lines are garbage, trash. Yes, this car has been crashed a bunch of times, so that might have something to do with it, but I've looked at a lot of other Hellcats as well, and the body lines are they're just not there. I mean, like, even for example, like this driver door sticks out farther than the rear door. This gap is a lot wider than this gap. There's just a bunch of random stuff where like it fits weird, like it goes from wide to thin. It's just, and this is on pretty much every single Hellcat that I've seen, especially like the front hoods. Most of them will always have this giant gap that you can finger, and it's not nice. I'm not gonna lie. I would rather that be closed up and seamless, but you know, that's just how Hellcats come. This won't happen if you're just daily driving it and driving it normal, but I've been through, I think, 4 power steering pumps with this car. This does have hydraulic power steering. It's not the electric power steering which the new Hellcats come with. I think it's 2017 and up they started doing electric. It might be 2018 and up, but this is a 2016, so it still has hydraulic power steering. It usually happens when I am doing 360s, but the power steering will get stiff as hell. I'll flush the fluid probably about 1 time, and then after that the pump's pretty much gone, so I'll have to replace it. That's a pain in the ass, not gonna lie. It's not a cheap part either. It probably has something to do with the weight, but power steering pumps love to go out on these cars if you're dogging it and you're throwing it around and you're really using the power steering. I haven't heard anyone complain about the electric power steering, so that might be different. It just feels completely different. And the electric feels animated. I don't even know. It feels more like a video game rather than you feel the road and you feel the car, and I don't know how to explain it, but hydraulic definitely feels better than electric. This one might be just because I'm 850 to the wheel and not a stock Hellcat anymore, but I keep going through drive shafts. For one, I've been through a stock one. This one's pretty much gone. It's twisted. You could see when we put it up on the lift and throw the rear wheels in the air and spin it, the drive shaft's all wiggly and wobbly. I'm pretty sure it twisted. And that was a one-piece aluminum drive shaft, which is supposed to be, you know, the tougher of the two versus the stock two-piece drive shaft. And it goes through axles like crazy. I kind of came to the conclusion that it goes through axles because the car is lowered. When it was at stock height, never had an axle problem. It goes through axles like crazy. I've gone through 3 or 4 sets of stock axles, and I've had to get my G-Force Renegade axles rebuilt once, and I'm gonna have to get them done again because they're already messed up. The boot rips, and then obviously axle grease goes everywhere. Again, I would keep the stock suspension. That would save, I'm pretty sure that would save the axles and the drive shaft, but because low. You like it lower. Hellcats come with like a 3 or 4 inch gap in between the fender and tire, and that just looks hideous. If you want to save your axles and your drive shaft, I would not recommend lowering the car. Another thing that seems to go wrong, not just me, but a lot of people that slide these cars or do donuts or whatever, the thermostat will take a shit. So I upgraded to the 180-degree thermostat. It comes with like a 205 or 210 or something like that, which, you know, by the time your car gets up to the 200s, it's kind of already hot, you know, it's heat soaking, so it's probably pulling power out. I would recommend doing a 180 thermostat just to keep engine temperature down, keep the life up. But yeah, that's one thing I would definitely recommend doing on a Hellcat. The factory exhaust is cool. I have completely straight piped. It's a lot louder than stock. Do I wish I had the factory stuff? Sometimes when I cold start it, and when it's really early in the morning or really late at night, I wish I had the stock stuff. Just straight pipe your car. Just straight pipe it. It's all good. These cars come on 91 octane recommended. This is on E85. I wouldn't recommend getting one of these cars if you're a miles per gallon person, more like a smiles per gallon person, because if you're watching your miles per gallon and you own a Hellcat, there's not really a reason. Go buy a Prius or a Tesla or something like that. This thing guzzles gas. That's a huge part of this car is tires and gas. It would be extremely hard to account for every single set of tires that I've gone through. We'll just say 1 set of tires per month. 1 set of tires per month, right? At $100 a tire. $100. All you have to do is really replace the rears. Add that up. Do that on the calculator real fast. $200 times 12 times 7 years. Do the math on that real quick, and that's just tires, and that's being light. 1 set of tires per month, and I usually go through at least 2 or 3. Add that up. That's a lot of money on tires. Plus I fill up gas probably twice a week at least. Usually fill up like 3 times a week. That's with E85. When I had 91, it was more like once, twice a week. So after 7 years, I mean, the trim seen better days. It's a little faded, you know, little scratches here and there. It's not terrible. The interior, I've kept it pretty spotless for the most part. Like, I mean, this gets all messed up, dragging your feet across it and stuff, standing on it, all that. The seat is not too bad, to be completely honest. Like, there's no rips, no tears. I kind of try and keep the leather oiled up, lubed up, greased up, whatever you want to say, so none of that happens. I don't want no holes or nothing in this thing. You know, the interior's dirty right now, so don't mind that, but I'm just trying to show you guys like the wear and tear from 7 years. There's not much, to be honest. Like the steering wheel, it's not all messed up or anything like that. The white stitching is obviously not white anymore, but that's usually the first thing to go in these interiors, is that white steering wheel stitching. SRT, not too bad. You know, these interiors hold up well. It's a lot of hard plastics and stuff like that, but they don't seem to deteriorate too badly. I still have the plastic, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I still have the plastic cover on this, and I mean, nah, I'm not gonna pull it off. Ha! Nothing's really damaged or seen a bunch of wear, or I've had to replace anything in the interior for 7 years. So the seat belts are still nice and red. Decent build quality in the interior for sure. I've had a bunch of issues with the latch not like seating properly, so at high speeds the hood will shake. Luckily that hasn't happened since I replaced this latch, but I've probably had to replace this latch 3 times. So that's one thing I would look out for, or just remember when you're looking for a Hellcat. Leave it stock. If not, do 850 to the wheels and stay there, because as I've been testing, 850 is kind of the sweet spot with these cars. They love it. So overall, the Hellcat has been one of the best cars ever. I've driven a lot of cars, Z06s, CTSVs, Chevy SSs. There's something about the Hellcat, I don't know what it is, and the Charger specifically. I've never really been too fond of the Challengers. I think it's just because I'm a 4-door guy. I like 4 doors. I like having a bunch of people in there, modos, mohos, all that stuff. But yeah, this is honestly one of the best cars I've ever had the experience to drive, excluding, you know, supercars and all that type of stuff, because that's a different bracket. But in this price category, it's hard to beat a Hellcat. Like, it really is. There's a bunch of different stuff that you can build to compete with the Hellcat platform, like the new M3s and stuff. Super dope. You can, you know, throw a couple bolt-ons and they might be beating stock Hellcats, but there's just something about the Charger body. Like, I don't know, if they, in my personal opinion, if they redid the interior, spent a lot more time on like the technology and all that type of stuff, and maybe remodeled it a tiny bit, made it more aggressive, maybe add some carbon fiber here and there, then I feel like the Hellcat would be a crazy competitor with like the M5 competitions and all that type of stuff. Yes, it would probably be more money, but I think it would be worth it. That's pretty much my review for the 7 years. It's been a crazy time. Had to replace a bunch of stuff, but that's because I drive it like I do, as you guys know. Drift it, drag race it, all that type of stuff. Definitely recommend getting a Hellcat if you can go get one. Strongly recommend it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell, thumbs up, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like to support the channel, make sure you go to helloclothing.com. We'll see you in the next one. Doses.
In Las Vegas, victory lane for Fox Television. Ricky Bobby, today's big winner. Heck of a win for you today, but it seems as if you either win or crash the car trying to win.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellent, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You know, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first,
The bumper
you're last.
kind of good there,
You know,
my guy.
what I'm talking about? That phrase, trademark, not produced for Ricky Bobby.
They didn't see nothing.